The Great Eagles made an appearance in The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, setting in motion a series of somewhat confusing events. These regal birds are familiar to Lord of the Rings fans since they came to Gandalf's aid in The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Rings, and Return of the King. Now, Rings of Power dives into other ways that the Great Eagles were involved in Tolkien's Legendarium, specifically, what they had to do with Numenor's great downfall. In The Rings of Power Season 2, Episode 3, Queen Miriel was meant to have her coronation, but things didn't go as planned. After the severe losses Numenor faced fighting in Middle-earth Southlands, the people had become enraged with their queen. Dissent broke out during the coronation, and this only got worse when Irian, Elendil's daughter, revealed that Miriel had possessed a Palantir. Then, the intensity of the situation was kicked up a notch when a great eagle swooped in. Pharazôn approached it, and the Númenóreans took this as a sign that he should be king, but what was really happening here? Where the great eagles come from and what they represent in Lord of the Rings. If a great eagle appears, we know the hand of destiny is at work. The great eagles are ancient and wise beings loyal to the Vala, archangel-like beings who live in Valinor, aka the Undying Lands. They answer, specifically, to Manwë, the king of the Vala, and serve this Vala as messengers and spies throughout all 3 ages of Middle-earth's timeline. This is why the great eagles had such a close relationship with Gandalf. The wizard was an angel-like being himself, a Maya, who directly served under Manwë. The Vala themselves rarely get involved with the goings-on of Middle-earth, and that went for their eagles, too. Manwë used these beings to keep an eye on things, especially Sauron's growing power, and they sometimes helped out Gandalf, who was in Middle-earth on the Vala's orders. Every single thing that the Great Eagles did in Lord of the Rings was highly specific and held great meaning. They represented divine intervention and destiny, only acting to move things along that were part of the greater plan. So, what does that mean for Rings of Power Season 2? The Great Eagle almost certainly isn't showing support for Pharazôn in the Rings of Power. Pharazôn does not have the favor of the Vala. The people of Númenor know very well that a great eagle showing up means something big. The great bird's appearance at the coronation was certainly significant, but it was up to the attendees to determine what it meant. The eagle wasn't going to explain it to them. Because they weren't happy with Queen Miriel at that moment, it seems the Númenóreans weren't willing to accept that the Vala were sending her their support. Instead, they decided that the Great Eagle was there to usher in a new leader, Pharazôn. Looking at canon, we can almost certainly confirm that this wasn't the case. The island kingdom of Númenor was a gift from the Vala to the First Age men who stood beside the elves to fight Morgoth. It was a reward for the unity between the 2 races, and Pharazôn has gained support because of prejudice against the elves. Since the Great Eagles came to support Miriel's father, a man who supported the elves, at his coronation, it makes sense that this one was there for the new queen in Rings of Power Season 2. Pharazôn just cunningly took advantage of the situation.